Are you bubbling over with ideas for the new year? What have you got on your list for the day you go back to work? This week on the Blogcentric podcast, we'll look at how you can get stuff done in 2017. Welcome to Spiderworking's Blogcentric podcast, a podcast about blogging. Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the Blogcentric podcast. I'm Amanda Webb, and you'll find the show notes for today's show at spiderworking.com/59. And today, I'm going to share with you a plan for getting all the stuff that you're dreaming of getting done in 2017. Time off can be a wonderful thing for a small business owner. You get to sleep a lot. You get to meet up with friends. You get to have hobbies like other people. And the Christmas holiday break is one of the most refreshing holidays, for me at least. I take a whole 2 weeks off. And that's 2 weeks I use to totally indulge myself in food, in hobbies, in anything that isn't business. But something weird happens towards the end of week 1. Once the festivities are out of the way, I've caught up on the lost sleep, the ideas start coming. They're there, invading my relaxation time. And there's lots of little ideas and large aspirations. Things I want to do. Things I want to put straight before the new year comes. My mind, it seems, once it's unleashed on all those things that are non-work related, just becomes hyper-motivated to make a start on the new year. I know I'm not alone. Perhaps this feeling in human beings is what sparked New Year's resolutions in the past. And there is a problem with all this inspiration coming at you, of course. When day one in the office finally arrives, we've either forgotten our resolutions or we're sitting looking at a list of work that simply has to be done, and all our new ideas get pushed away down that priority list. This year can be different, and I'm determined it will be. And getting your new year in gear is what we're going to talk about in this week's podcast. You'll need a pen. Go grab one. You're listening to Blogcentric from Spiderworking. Have you ever had a wonderful idea just as you were dropping off to sleep? In that moment, you're snug and comfortable in your bed. And you'll try and convince yourself that you'll remember that idea in the morning. You'll invent lots of ways that you'll get your brain to tell you that idea the next day. You'll fight with your half-asleep brain until finally you'll get up and write it down. Hopefully, because we know in reality, if sleep wins out, that idea could end up forgotten forever. And the same goes for the ideas that flood you over the holidays. If you're anything like me, your head will be full of ideas that excite you. One after another, they'll pile in. I must do that. Unless you wrangle the ideas as they come, get them out of your head onto paper or into the digital environment, you're in danger of losing them forever. So stop now. Hit pause. Grab something, a device, a notebook. Jot them down. I'll wait. Are you done? Do you have a lot of things written down? Well, don't worry. The volume of ideas is the next thing that we're going to deal with. Because I remember when I was a kid, I'd go OTT with my New Year's resolutions, like totally OTT. I'd want to refresh everything, become a better person in every conceivable way the following year. I'd want to eat healthier. I'd want to get more exercise. I want to cook more from scratch, expand my vocabulary, keep a diary, take more photos, learn how to... The list would go on and on. And I see people doing this thing that I used to every single year. I see them listing their resolutions on Twitter, on Facebook, in their blogs. But having such a packed agenda meant that I was setting myself up to fail. Because it's not that easy to change every aspect of your life in one big chunk. I've stopped making resolutions like that, but I still do make the same mistakes when it comes to business. I have so many ideas and ambitions. I've had to learn that I can't do them all at once. I need to implement them slowly. It takes patience, but you know what they say? Good things come to those who wait. So now you have written down all your ideas as they come. I don't want you to go straight at them. At least not all of them at the same time. The first thing you need to do with that list is prioritise. And to do this, you'll need to put some sort of order on it. I'd turn it into a spreadsheet to do this. So put the name of your idea or the gist of your idea, and then in the next two columns, you're going to score it. The first score is between 1 and 5 on how big a task it is. 1 means it's a monumentally large task, something like rebuilding your entire website. And number 5 could be just something simple to do, or I must email that person. Now, in the next column, give them a score on how important it is to your business. The tasks that have the biggest positive impact on your business should get a score of 1. And those that have the least impact on your business, a score of 5. The tasks that you need to do first are those with the biggest impact on your business. But if you find that these are all on a score of 1 on your scale of largeness, you're going to need to spread them out. So I recommend, out of that prioritised list of big tasks, take 1 a month and make that the thing for the month. For example, one task on my to-do list is to create a new page for my website advertising me as a conference speaker. It's quite a big job. It's been on the long finger a long time. And I need to get some landing page software. I need to design graphics. I need to get some testimonials. I need to write the copy. So I'm giving that a level 2 on the scale of the size of the business. So as I said, a 1 would be a full website redesign. This is 1 page. It's going to take quite a lot of time. So I'm giving it a score of 2. It's also going to have a significant impact on my business, as one of my goals for 2017 is to get more speaking gigs. I also need to redesign my homepage, as it doesn't really work very well. It's quite bland. It's not informative. It doesn't sell my services well. So that's 2 on both counts as well, 2 on priority and 2 in size. Now, I can't do both of those tasks at once at the beginning of January. If I tried, the chances are neither of them would get completed. So instead, I'm scheduling the home page for February and making the speaking page a priority for January. Work through all your big part tasks, allocating a month of the year for each one. Remember, the ones that are going to have impact on your business are the ones you need to do first. For a really big job like a website redesign, you might allocate more than 1 month. That could be a 2 or a 3 month project. Use a spreadsheet or a calendar to map those months out so that you won't forget to do them. It's going to help you stay on track. You'll start anticipating the next task you have way ahead of time, which gives it more chance of it getting done.
You're listening to Blogcentric from Spiderworking.
But those big tasks, they look intimidating, don't they? If you really want to get them done, the next stage is to break them down into sections, into chunks. So make a list, take one of those tasks and make a list of all the things that need to happen in order to get the task complete. Now, realistically, you need to allocate a time. How long is it going to take you to complete each stage of the task? And I'm saying be realistic because I'm a devil for underestimating how long each stage of a task will take. And because I know this, I tend to add some extra time on top of my initial estimate. I'm getting closer to getting it right. So now you should have each task allocated to a month, and you should have broken that down into chunks that you can spread throughout the month. That's your big task done with. Now it's time to look at the smaller tasks. So I'm going to skip right to the smallest tasks, the really small tasks, those that you've given a score of 5 for. Those are ones that you can get out of the way really quickly. Now you might need to spread those over a couple of weeks, depending how many there are. But it can feel really liberating to get a big bundle of them done in, say, an hour. I'd recommend slotting a few of these into the first day back in the office. Consider them a treat for when you finish work on the first section of the first stage of your big task of the year. And remember, tackle them in order of priority. Those that have got a score of 1 and 2 should be done first. Depending on the number of small tasks that you have, you could complete these within a week, within a month. Add them to your calendar or spreadsheet next to the date that you want to complete them. But be aware, these small tasks have a habit of multiplying. You'll find yourself constantly adding to that list. Don't worry, they don't take long to do. Now we've got those mid-level tasks left. These are the ones that you gave a 3 or 4 for size. You could aim to get one of these done every fortnight, maybe every week, depending how your time's going. Again, map them out according to importance, the most important first. And a good idea is to choose a day of the week that you're going to devote to those mid-level tasks. If it's not a whole day, maybe 2 hours on a Wednesday, just have a regular time slot. And now add them into your schedule, into your calendar, into your spreadsheet, wherever you're keeping note of the work that needs to be done. You should now have your entire year mapped out for big tasks, at least your month mapped out for small tasks, if you've got that many to complete. And you should have a number of multi-level tasks scattered across the next 3 months at least. It's a good start, but you need to break that down now. Look at the next month and break it down into a weekly to-do list. Now, for years, I struggled with a daily to-do list, and it's just not good enough. It's time to switch it up. I've been using weekly lists for, I'd say, 2 years now, and they're really, really useful because if you can see your week or even sometimes your month mapped out and you know what needs to happen, it can really help you stay on track, or at least help you know how far behind you are. So to start that weekly schedule, put in the work that you have to do, the work that you have to do to make money. For me, that's client work, meetings, training days, course planning. For you, it could be working in your job, it could be management, it could be whatever it is that you need to do to make money. That's the stuff that's most important, right? We can't let that go. Now look at your daily and weekly tasks. These are things like reading and responding to emails. So I deliberately schedule that just twice a day. And I don't look at my email outside those hours unless it's something pressing I'm waiting for, because that can take up a lot of time. You also need to leave room for, say, daily tweeting, researching and writing your blog post content, doing your bookkeeping. Add all of those sections, even if it's daily, into your weekly to-do list. Now that you've plugged that all in, actually set times. Set times, say, between 8:30 and 9 a.m, for example, is when I do my email. And that will give you some sort of idea how much time you have left in your day after you've got the tasks that need to be done. And that's where you can slot in these bigger jobs, the ones on this massive list you've made over Christmas. I always think if you can, it's a good idea to allocate the same day and time each week to complete those tasks. Remember, try and get the big tasks started first and then reward yourself with the small ones. That's the plan I'm putting into effect for 2017, and it's based on a plan that I've been keeping for the past 6 months, and I found it really effective at getting stuff done.
You're listening to Blogcentric from Spiderworking.
If Twitter is on your agenda for 2017, I've got something to tell you about. I'm running a course with Digital for Sales. It's an online course with video resources and downloads and swipe files and PDFs. It's a really, really good resource. It's not for people who are just starting out with Twitter, but it's for you if you want to get more from what you're doing on Twitter, if you want to make sales, if you want a strategy. You'll find out more at spiderworking.com/Twitter course. That's spiderworking.com/Twitter course. And that's all from me for this week. But before you go, do you want to do me a New Year favour? You know what I'd love? You do. I'd really love it if you left me a review on iTunes or Stitcher and told me why you enjoy listening to this podcast. And why do I want you to do that? Well, it really helps when someone finds my podcast in their search on iTunes and they see that it's got lots of good reviews. They're more likely to subscribe and join in too, which makes me happy and makes me want to keep going. And you know what? When you do something nice for someone else, some good things might happen to you too. So please run over to Stitcher, run over to iTunes and give us a review. Until next week, happy blogging.
Blogcentric from Spiderworking is sponsored by We Teach Social, social media e-learning courses for small business. Find out more at weteachsocial.com.